Number 1 is the ElBahri Festival, Japan, also known as the Fire and Violence Festival. The ElBahri Festival is held on the first Friday and Saturday of July. The bizarre rituals involved are largely fueled by sake, and it is encouraged to cause chaos as this will please Suzuno Mikoto, the Shinto god of sea and storms. On Friday, a lantern parade takes place through the village of Ushitsu, Japan, and ends at the pier. There, the lantern carriers are greeted by large fires that are suspended on top of bowls. As they burn, their embers glide down like snowflakes. Men and boys dance underneath and play drums, bells, and flutes. 10. Nothing beats the chaotic flute. Number 2 is Takanakuy, Peru. Takanakuy roughly means when the blood is boiling. It takes place in the Chumbivilcas province of Peru on Christmas Day. During the ceremonial proceedings, 5 traditional characters are portrayed, including Negro. The character is that of the slave master during the Peruvian colonial period who dances in circles like a rooster. These rituals build nicely to the main event of the festivities, the fighting. The tiny province of Chumbivilcas, with a population of around 300, sees its greatest influx of tourists during the event. Over 3,000 people flock to see the face punching. Number 3 is Festa Salud do Porto, Portugal. The festival's official English name is the Festival of St. John of Porto. It takes place every year on June 23 and attracts thousands of people to the Portuguese city's center. The date is likely an indication of the festival's pagan roots. It's around the time of the harvest when many people would stock up on leeks and garlic. Leeks were also a symbol of fertility, owing in part to their somewhat phallic shape. The tradition follows that the leeks would be whacked on the heads of loved ones to aid their sexual performance. Number 4 is Saidai-ji Hadaka Matsuri, Festival of Naked Fighting Men, Japan. Hadaka Matsuri roughly translates to Naked Festival. Many have popped up in Japan over the years, but none are more famous than Saidai-ji Hadaka Matsuri. It takes place every year at Saidai-ji Temple in Okayama. Technically, no one's really naked. The 9,000 exclusively male participants all wear loincloths, identical to those worn by sumo wrestlers. From a raised window, a priest throws around 100 sacred sticks into the crowd. It's thought that luck will be bestowed on any man who manages to shove a stick into a rice-filled box called a masu. Number 5 is Bolas de Fuego. El Salvador. In 1658, the volcanic eruption of El Plan destroyed the town of Nixapa in El Salvador. Survivors relocated to what is modern-day Nejapa. The Bolas de Fuego event is held every August 31st in commemoration. The name translates to balls of fire and is in no way misleading. In the 3 months leading up to the event, participants construct over 1,500 apple-sized balls of kerosene-soaked cotton. They're also wrapped in wire. That way, they don't lose their shape and can really smack into their targets. Amazed tourists hide behind their camera phones as the fireballs begin to sail through the night sky. Most participants' faces are also daubed with intimidating face paint, just in case the fireballs weren't enough to get your heart rate up. Number 6 is the Battle of the Oranges, Italy. The origin of the annual Battle of the Oranges in Agni, Italy, is unclear. The legend goes that around the 12th century, the city was ruled by a particularly nasty marquis. Mad on power, he attempted to rape a local miller's daughter. She ended up decapitating him and inspired a revolt in which the palace was burned to the ground. The festival is a reenactment of this revolt. Only instead of stones and whatever other projectiles were used against the marquis's men, now the battle is solely fought with oranges. Number 7 is Rouketopolemos. The Rocket War. Greece. Easter night in Vrontados, Greece, is not a peaceful time. Two rival churches, St. Mark and Panagia Arathiani, have been competing with each other for centuries. Every year, both churches attempt to settle the score by launching fireworks in the other's direction. The loser is the church whose bell gets hit first. And for the winner, bragging rights, we guess. It's just fun to find an excuse to shoot fireworks at bells. Also, recording the bell hits isn't done scientifically, meaning both churches claim victory every year. For not everyone is a fan of the festivities. The surrounding buildings have to be protected with metal sheets, or they will suffer significant damage. Fires are often started, the worst of which have led to death. Number 8 is Agni Keli, India. In Mangalore, India, devout Hindus gather to appease the goddess Durga by throwing burning palm leaves at each other. Participants meet at the local river for a communal and spiritually significant cleansing. Then it's time to play some flaming dodgeball. Participants divide into 2 groups. From there, palm-built torches are hurled at the opposing side. The more people are hit, the more Durga is impressed. Officially, each participant is only allowed 5 throws, but the firefight lasts roughly 15 minutes. This means that a lot of torches are being recycled, indicating that Durga's a chilled-out goddess when it comes to rules. Nevertheless, there are referees present to make sure that people don't get too badly injured while being pelted with flaming palm leaves. Number 9 is Cotswold Olimpick. Shin-Kicking, England. The annual Cotswold Olympic Games are home to a variety of events. Many are just as archaic as the spelling of Olympic. You're likely familiar with tug-of-war and Morris dancing. Piano smashing, you can figure out. However, the festival's most popular and violent event is the Shin-Kicking Championship. Matches are a one-on-one affair. Competitors place their hands on each other's shoulders. In that position, they must wrestle for leverage to unleash a flurry of kicks to their opponent's shins. 2. The bout ends when one competitor can take no more. At this point, sufficient is all they need. It's how the British gentleman says, "Mommy, make it stop." Number 10 is Entroido Carnival, Spain. Entroido Carnival takes place in Loza, Spain, and lasts for 3 days. On this first day, men dress up in terrifying wooden masks and march through the street with whips. They represent the Galician tacksmen who policed the townspeople in the 16th century. Get in their way or exist near them and you're gonna get a whipping. Monday is the most violent day of the festival. It's centered around a practice called farapada, ragging. Muddy rags are thrown indiscriminately at anything with a pulse. However, the most feared participants of the day are those who carry sacks. They've spent time in the lead-up to the festival scooping up anthills and dumping them inside the sacks.